I just reviewed our family album, which I'm making, and I got so many pointers from Mom. So many things I didn't know, actually. But the family album, I would like to get every one of our brothers and sisters on a little interview and to see what their opinions are, what they have in mind, and what they could add to our little magazine here. So I'm fortunate today to have my sister Eleanor here visiting me with Mom, and I would like to introduce her. Her name is Eleanor Butts now, Mrs. Eleanor Butts, and here's my sister now, Eleanor. Well, doesn't she look pretty? You know, I'm the second oldest in the family, and Eleanor is the third. So she was just telling me that she's going to have a birthday soon, and she's going to be how old?
64.
64. And our family doesn't seem to be ashamed of telling how old they are, huh? Because they all look so young.
Oh, thank you, Jerry. Thank you. I like that.
Well, you know, looking back into your life, it wasn't easy because I can see so many things about the beginning, which many people forget. Your first marriage was a very beautiful marriage, and there was so much love, and the 2 children you had was such a happy home. And I still remember it yet from El Cerrito.
That's right.
Yeah, on Liberty Street.
On Liberty Street.
And you had a dog named Rags.
We had a dog named Rags.
And John must have been about a year and a half to 2 years old.
About 2. I think he was about 2 years old.
And Ginger was how old?
4.
4, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And Emily built the home near you at the beginning, didn't she?
Yeah, across the bridge in the back. Right.
And did the boys build their own homes in those days?
That's right.
They did.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Isn't that something?
Yes, our home was built by my husband.
Well, Maury Gear worked for Standard Oil.
At first he worked for Bethlehem Steel.
Bethlehem Steel.
Right.
But when I met him, he was with
Standard
Oil, wasn't he?
Yes, when you met him, no, he was working for Kaiser during the war.
He was.
He was a supervisor at the shipyard.
Ah.
And then there were so many faulty building with the Liberty ships, they were cracking up at sea, that he left. And the Maritime Commissioner hired him. Because they knew of his good work, and he could inspect the Liberty ships before they went out.
Good.
And save our men from a lot of hardship.
Oh, great. Now.
And then he went to work for Standard Oil.
Okay, but in those days, now this is just my opinion, they didn't check on the safety factors as far as the purity of the air.
Not at all.
And the chemicals in the air and so forth. And I feel that he was such a healthy man, so big. I thought he got his problem from work.
I'm sure of that too.
Yeah, today.
In fact, my husband, Edward Butt, that was a pathologist, said it definitely.
I would say he got the Hodgkin's, wasn't it?
That's right.
From his work, of course.
That's right.
Checking the chemicals and so forth.
Exactly.
They didn't have the safeties today. It helped.
Right.
Yeah. And then the tragedy that he did pass away, and it was very sad. And that left you in a position where you had to take care of 2 children.
Right.
Yeah. And John was how old?
John was about 5 1/2, and Ginny 7 1/2.
7 1/2. And Ginny had become a young woman because you had to go to work.
Yeah, well, I had promised Maury that I would not work for Dad, so Dad would not have complete control of me anymore. So I went to work in the grocery store 3 days a week, and they paid me well.
Weren't you a butcher in the butchering shop?
Well, I had a very dear friend that after Maury died, he was just opening his grocery store and said, Eleanor, why don't you come for work for me? Not only can you do a little work, and they're just starting to wrap meat then. So you be my all-round girl, answer the telephone, you work on the checking stand, work in the deli, 3 days a week, and you still had time for your children.
Isn't that something?
And I felt very lucky because they felt like I was one of the family.
Yeah. All right. And then came Bill.
Then came Bill. He was a Masonic brother to Maury. He used to take Maury to the hospital. And about every once in a while he promised Maury he would watch over his family. So every once in a while he'd come knocking at my door, seeing how we were. And then of course Virginia got sick, and he would go to the hospital and check on him.
Gosh, he became like in charge, huh?
Well, he...
Or look, a guide.
Right. But then when he divorced his wife, I think about he had been divorced 5 years, and he's come around. I used to say, oh, please don't come and visit me. I just cannot take any more of this pressure. But he would always go to the hospital and check on Virginia.
And his last name?
Reinhardt.
Reinhardt, that's right.
And Reinhardt, he helped develop San Jose.
Yes.
Old Town.
Oh, yeah.
Good Samaritan Hospital. Yes. Westgate. East Valley. Yeah. He did a lot of that.
He set up shopping areas and
right.
things like that.
He was, and he was also a type of person that he'd help college kids, poor farmers. Yeah. After he passed away, I think there was thousands and thousands of dollars people owed us, and no one ever paid it back. But he was a great Mexico. We were on a trip one year, and evidently at the high altitude, he had a heart attack and dropped dead at the hotel, the La Presenza Hotel there. Something. And well, that was another history of my life.
And then your third husband, he was taking care of Ginny, wasn't he?
No, I was on a cruise. I decided to go on a cruise with Mr. and Mrs. Center of San Jose, which we had done quite a bit of traveling. He had been with me when Bill passed away. Bill Reinhardt passed away in Mexico. So they were going on a trip to South America, and we're going to the Galapagos Islands, and he says, Eleanor, it's about time you come. So I decided, well, I guess I will, and that's where I met my third husband,
I know.
Ed.
He's such a gentleman.
And he was a pathologist in LA County Hospital, and he used to travel every weekend.
But he was a doctor.
That's right, he was a pathologist, a doctor.
In the Navy.
No. LA County Hospital.
He was in the service?
He was in the service for 4 years, and he was in 2 wars, and did a lot of volunteer work for the veteran hospitals in Long Beach.
All right, great.
And he used to come up every weekend to woo me, and he was such a wonderful gentleman. I just was so happy when he was around that I took off for Southern California.
Isn't that something? And you're a grandmother?
I'm a grandmother.
How many times?
I have 4 grandchildren. The oldest is 14, 9, 2, and 4 months.
4 months.
And I love it.
Isn't that something?
And I love it.
What I would like now, that, of course, we know that Ed passed away also. And
about 6 months ago.
About 6 months ago. And you are back up here.
I've come home where my roots are, and I love it.
Okay, I want to have you and Mother talk a little bit. And she's here visiting also, so if you give us...
Jerry and Marie, they have such a lovely home. Wonderful. They have such a gorgeous view, and just being together makes it a very happy time.
Very nice.
Yes.
I appreciate very much everything Jerry and Marie do for us.
Well, I understand, as you tell me, she bakes super cakes.
And now, nice drink, nice reservements, nice everything. I appreciate very much.
She's a good cook, isn't she?
Oh, yes.
Jerry's a very lucky man.
Really true.
Right. Well, Mama, how do you like having your daughter up here?
Wonderful. I'm very happy.
We have a lot of fun together, don't we?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. I'm going to take Mama down. You're going to come visit me now for a weekend in Los Gatos.
Sure, I will.
And you said that you had a very special Italian dish you want to try, that we could try together. Was it fish, Mama?
Yes.
What was the recipe?
Fish aerum.
Well, what's the name of the recipe, Mama?
Let me see. Fish, I don't remember the name.
I think you said it was Sicilian.
And let me see the name. I don't remember. I can't remember.
Well, that's all right. And we're going to try it out on my house.
I'll show you.
And also, you're going to teach me how to make those good cookies you make so I can carry on.
Sure, we do that.
Yeah, make those delicious cookies.
Yes, we do.
And, well, Jerry, this has been really fun.